Hello friends, today we will discuss about the topic nation. So let us start now. The term nation is derived from Latin word nati, means to be born. Thus, nation, in a literal sense, the nation is community to which people belong by birth. However, in today's world, the definition of nation is far more complex than before. That is why different dimensions of nation are emerging, such as cultural dimension. So, literal sense nation, that means people who belong by birth. But in today's complex world, the definition of nation is far more complex than before. That is why different dimensions of nations are emerging, such as cultural dimension. What does it mean by? Let us see. A nation is supposed to be a group of people bound together by common language, religion, historical events and tradition. So it's all about cultural dimension of nation. Some degree of community sentiment also exists among those people who share common cultural traits. For example, in Europe, most of the languages originated from Latin, so culture binding them together. In case of India, we find most of the languages originated from Sanskrit. However, despite common cultural traits, we find different national identities also exist in India. For example, not only India, in other countries. For example, in India, despite common influence of Hindu religion, different parts of India have their own identities. Thus, cultural homogeneity is not a sufficient ground for creation of one nation, although it is an important criteria. In the words of Henry M. Johnson, although a common language, a common religion, common racial origin undoubtedly help to produce and cement the sentiment of nationhood, these things, individual or together, are not sufficient necessary. Now, second dimension is political dimension. Political dimension of the nation consists of people who regard themselves as a single political community and therefore identify their nation with their political identification. The existence of the nation sometimes depends upon some common historical experience. Often, diverse groups of people are fused into political nation, through being subjected to oppression at the hands of common enemies. For example, 13 colonies that waged American War of Independence identify themselves with the American nation. Because of their common struggle for independence, the same argument can be given for growth of Indian nation and nationalism from British colonial oppression. Third dimension, that is psychological dimension. Psychologically, a nation is a group of people distinguished by a sense of mutual affection, identity and loyalty. Nation loyalty is a common feature of psychological dimension. So all those people who believe themselves as part of a nation are psychologically related to each other and so a sense of loyalty and mutual interdependence towards each other. Now let us see about nations are either real or not. Erich Hobsbawm and Gellner pointed out that nations are actually imagined community or invented tradition, not real entity. It is deliberately created or developed consensus between a group of people. This is deliberate projection, according to them. Hans Kohn, in his book The Idea of Nationalism, has distinguished between two kinds of nationalism. First one is Western nationalism. In case of Western nationalism, nation is identified with masses, popular forms of politics, and serves to provide a cultural justification for already existing political structure. Second one is Eastern nationalism. In case of Eastern nationalism, it is used to justify the creation of nation states in economically and politically less developed part of the world by redrawing political boundaries in conformity with the ethnographic demand. For example, the growth of Indian nation state also shows that division of Indian provinces on the basis of language identities. Now, different kind of nationalism. What are the different kind? First one is cultural nationalism. Means when a group of people try to identify their unity on the basis of their common culture. Citizenship, rights, duties, responsibility, aims and interest of institutions all are set by their cultural unity. Most of the European nations are cultural nations. Now, liberal nationalism. It tries to forge a common national identity out of different groups' identities. However, it doesn't try to eliminate the separate identities of different groups. For example, USA we can put the example under liberal nationalism. Anti-colonial nationalism, developed out of the fight of many third world countries like India for independence from colonial power. Now, nationalism and modern society. What it is? Ernest Gellner, in his book Nation and Nationalism, has argued that according to him, the extensive division of labor in industrial society created a high degree of social mobility. It also created a shift towards greater universalism. This process created standardized educational system, common law, jurisprudence, institutions, common language for official use, etc. This provided a monopoly to state over education, technology, etc. Out of this process, slowly the modern identity of the nation developed. This modern identity of nation about the people was created by mass education controlled by state. However, Anthony Smith disagreed with Ernest Gellner. According to Smith, nations tend to have direct lines of continuity with earlier ethnic communities. For example, Israel has a common history of their common nationhood. Now, let us see what each state is all about. State is a distinct set of institutions that has the authority to make the rules which governs a society. In the words of Max Weber, the state exercises a monopoly on the legitimate violence within a specific territory. Hence, the state includes such institutions such as armed forces, bureaucracy, civil society, judiciary, local and national councils of elected representatives like parliament and legislative assemblies in India. This means that state is not a single unit identity, rather than it is a collection of institutions. So it is a basically collection of institutions. which describes the governance of a particular society and provide directions to use of resources to make public policy. State is also a sovereign body which doesn't recognize the sovereignty of any other entity within its territory. So it is a sovereign entity and doesn't recognize the sovereignty of other entity within its territory. States develop due to the progress of society and modernization of political process. So it is an outcome of political modernization of society. A society became more differentiated and specialized due to industrialization, with increasing population also. Developed the need for a centralized authority to regulate the different parts of society was felt. This need for a centralized authority created the concept of absolute monarchy in feudal time. Absolute monarchy gave rise to kingdom with certain rights and sovereign power to monarchy. With the coming of industrial society, the very institutions of absolute monarchy were challenged and modern states were created on the basis of democratic principle, socialism, and to a limited extent to the old tradition of monarchy, also known as ornamental head, like in Great Britain. However, Marxists such as Antonio Gramsci and Louis Althusser question the concept of state, which separates the civil society from the institutions of state. According to Althusser, the civil society is also part of the state. For example, Althusser maintains that civil organizations such as church, schools, even trade unions are part of ideological state apparatus. According to Nikos Paloutzas, the role of modern state is determined by their location in capitalist society. On the other hand, Ralph Miliband's book The State in Capitalist Society argues that state is dominated by an elite that comes from same social background as the capitalist class. Another way of looking at state is the pluralistic view. The pluralistics generally see the state as an acting in the interest of different groups in society. Pluralist view of state talks about pluralist state which is found in liberal democracy. Now let us see the relation between nation and state. The nation and state are not the same entities. A state often includes people of different nations. Once a nation state has been formed, the national sentiment offers strong resistance to loss of independence. Another point of departure is that state includes a government, whereas nations are organized on the basis of collective identities. So we can say that in one perspective is that state include government, whereas nations is all about collective identities which have different dimensions. Now let us see the changing aspects of nation state after globalization. Nations without states. There are many nations within modern world which do not have or possess a political state. For example, the separatist movement like those in Pakistan, Balochistan province, Tibetans in China, we can no need to mention globalization, even we can mention 21st century like that term. So all are these all are general points. Tibetans in China are examples of nations who do not have a state. So the conflict in these areas is to create a state on the basis of their identity as nation. A second type of nations are that which without state consist of those that have a higher degree of autonomy. For example, Quebec, French-speaking province of Canada, has nation who has power to take major decision without actually being fully independent. A third type of nation includes which more or less completely lack recognition from the states that contain them. In such case, the larger states use force in order to deny recognition to the minority. For example, Tamils of Sri Lanka, Kurds in Turkey, Syria, Iran and Iraq, etc. Now let us see the term nation state, national identity and globalization. According to some sociologists, globalization is creating conflicting pressure on the concept of nation state and nationality. Multinational companies, translational organizations like European Union are diluting the basic national identity and nation state. Multiple identities, you can say as hybrid identities, are developing as a response to globalization. As a result of globalization, we are increasingly living in a borderless world in which national identities becoming weaker. France, Israel, nation and state as a single entity. India, one state with many nations. Marx criticized nationalism for hiding the reality of exploitation and oppression. Now, what Tagore has said, I am not against the nation or that nation, this nation or that nation, but against the idea of nation itself. Actually, Tagore was emphasizing on universal nationalism beyond any limit to boundary. So in next lecture we will cover citizenship. Thank you very much.